What's up, everybody? I'm Dr. Anthony Lytle here.
Sorry, we're back.
We're back. Sorry.
Happy New Year.
Sorry. If you don't subscribe, we'll hurt you.
Yeah.
This video, we wanted to kind of present some ideas for you guys about how you can get off in this new year of 2024, setting goals, maybe looking at blood work, maybe getting a tune-up, having somebody kind of look over any prior injuries that you might have for your body. And we kind of wanted to give you our take on how we would approach that as practitioners. So I'm actually going to have Frank start this one off and kind of talk about setting fitness goals for the new year.
Well, I think the biggest key when you're setting fitness goals is set realistic ones. I mean, you go into different places and we'll drop 30 pounds in a month, we'll do stuff like that. The biggest thing you got to do, because you'll disappoint yourself if you don't set a realistic goal. You got to set a realistic goal. I always tell 1 to 2 pounds a week, if you're, let's say it's weight loss, we'll just talk about weight loss. 1 to 2 pounds a week. People don't realize if you do 1 pound a week, that's 52 pounds in a year. If you do 2 pounds a week, that's over 108. That's it.
108, yeah.
108. That's 108 pounds. 108 pounds. I mean, think about that. I mean, people always think, I only dropped 1 pound or I dropped 2 pounds. I mean, you want to drop a pound a day, a pound a week, you got 52. Yeah, 52 pounds at the end of the year.
It's 104.
Right, 104. You said 108.
Okay, I just went with
you. All right, anyway, that was never good math. So, but anyway, yeah. So, and that's the biggest thing as far as set a real. I always tell people when they're looking at the nutrition end of it, is set a realistic nutrition plan. What people do is they end up setting these. Okay, I'm going to eat cabbage soup and lose 30 pounds in a month or 2 months or whatever. That's not going to work. You got to develop a realistic plan that you look at and go, I can stay with this the rest of my life. And that's why I always tell people is, I don't even like to use the word diet. I like to use the word like nutritional plan, because it's not really a diet. Diet kind of puts something crazy in your head. I think nutrition plan's better. But anyway, I think, and as far as the exercise program, what a lot of people do is when they go into the exercise aspect of it, is they go balls to the wall, I'll just say it. And what they do is they hurt themselves, and that's where Shannon has to take care of them because they hurt themselves. Or Jock has to inject your knee because you're doing CrossFit and you're not doing it right. So, again, the importance there is what you need to do is you need to develop a plan and ease into it. Make it a gradual increase. Work yourself up as you go and work around your injuries, trying to help strengthen the areas where you do have injuries because your body needs to develop strength around areas. Like, for example, Shannon one time, she was telling me that she would push my glute down with my leg down with one finger because my glute was so weak because my back was bothering me, my knee, so I stopped triggering that glute, and she says, "It is so weak." And since I've strengthened it, it feels a lot better. And Doc's helped me with my back same thing with the Prolo injections and the PRP. So I guess what I'm trying to tell everybody is get yourself on a program to feel better. I mean, you're never going to feel better. Like, I ate like shit this weekend. And I woke up the next morning, I felt terrible. And I go, how do people eat like this all the time and feel like this all the time? I mean, it's really, oh man,
it becomes a new normal.
Oh dude, I felt terrible, and my body hurt. How I get when I eat bad. My body hurts, my knees hurt, my shoulders hurt. And like today, I be good yesterday, and like today I felt way better. So it's just the biggest thing is, you're developing a plan that you can stay with. What people put is, I'm 80 pounds overweight, I'm gonna lose 40 pounds in 6 months. You wanna do it realistically because you're gonna be more successful. And the biggest thing is when you're gonna reach a plateau some point in time when you're in your weight loss. That's where a lot of people start saying, I'm done, I'm not losing anymore, so I'm just gonna, whatever, I'm done. That's where you have to stay on the path. If you're doing everything right, stay on the path and your body will respond and eventually you'll lose that weight. So I guess my overall message to everyone is make sure you set a realistic goal. Don't try and do something that's going to be unrealistic because you'll be disappointed. So
I could tie into that a little bit.
Yeah.
When you talk about diets and maybe fad diets, I think when they say I want to do a diet, it's almost like it's the first thing that comes to mind is like it's temporary. When somebody says I'm going to do such and such a diet, like it's temporary. Now, there may be some diets out there that could be useful in a temporary cycle. I could say cycle is maybe the best way I could describe it. One of those things that comes to mind is like a keto diet or ketogenesis, because in order to enter into a ketogenesis, it requires some time, like weeks, in order to truly enter into ketogenesis, where your body is purely running off of ketones instead of carbohydrates and glucose. So I think there's something to going down into a ketogenic diet, but some of the other diets, I think they may not all be all that bad if they're not like a crazy fad diet, but I think people they look at them from a temporary mindset. Hey, I'm going to drop this weight quick, and then I'm going to get back to what I was doing before. But I think really when it comes to diet, you want to pursue something that's sustainable. When Frank was saying 1 to 2 pounds per week, that's actually a really good goal. I will tell patients that as well. And if that's sustainable, I think you'll be a lot happier to sustain that. There won't be yo-yoing, there won't be ups and downs. You're gonna fall off the horse throughout the year, and there's things that are gonna come up. You travel, you go on vacation, you're not in the gym as often as you are, but if your diet is still keyed in and there's a sustainable component to it, and it's not hard to continue or to meal prep, then you'll get back on the horse fairly easily, and you'll get back to it. But that's just part of life, that the ebbs and flows.
Yeah. And have a treat meal a day too, or a week. Have 1 week. Cheat meal.
A little bit.
I think just one little meal where it'll satisfy you, and that'll help you. Like, if you want a piece of cake, have a piece of cake. Just have a piece of cake 6 days a week.
True, and there's also cheats that you can do that aren't truly cheats. They're kind of like they make you think that they're cheats.
I like the cake.
I tell Frank he can do keto. Try keto ice cream. Try like some of these keto desserts where it's like, it looks like a treat, but really you're kind of sticking to your diet.
I'd rather have a piece of cake.
But I think another thing I could probably tie in is in the new year, it's probably good to get some blood work too if you haven't seen a doctor in a while, or you haven't been paying attention to your body or any of your blood values. It'd probably be good to get comprehensive blood work at least once a year, just to see kind of how everything's looking underneath the surface. So that would kind of be my advice, is to do a little bit of digging in the new year just to see how everything's going. But I know, Shannon, we had kind of talked about getting a tune-up, so kind of tell people how to do that.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple different ways that you could utilize physical therapy or the type of service like what I do, as you're either kind of continuing on into the new year and resetting goals, even if you're already doing a great job of working out consistently, eating well, kind of living a healthier lifestyle. Where I find my role tends to come into play in that type of individual is maybe assessing any nagging injuries. You've been lifting, you've been working out, you've been doing great, but you've had this tweak in your shoulder or your back or your knee. I mean, inevitably, most of us don't have pristine looking joints any longer. So what I'll do in that case is maybe do an overall body screen, looking at strength, looking at mobility, looking at mechanics with our basic movements that a lot of us are using in the gyms on a regular basis. But maybe if you're not coming to someone like Frank all the time and you're working out on your own, maybe there's something in your mechanics that has a fault.
Especially major joints, right?
Sure, yeah, and sometimes even the littler joints. I mean, for instance, just as an example, you got into a car accident 3 years ago. The seatbelt took you over like this, and now we look at where your collarbone sits. One sits forward as compared to the other. I mean, there's a lot of little things that people don't even associate with an old injury that maybe come back to bite you later. Same thing with headaches, jaw pain. You whacked your head when you fell skiing 3 years ago, right? And now there's a little bit of a shift or something like that. So sometimes we'll find those things when we just go and do an overall comprehensive assessment. And then that way we can just tweak and dial in the workout a little bit better, right? Or we can specifically address whatever those injuries are with whatever treatment is appropriate for that time. The other thing that I will say in starting off the workout program, if you haven't been working out, is going to see somebody for just a general screen before you kind of go down that path and working with a trainer or working out on your own and whatever that looks like. Just get a screen and kind of assess for mobility, strength deficits. Again, those same things that we keep looking at over and over again, to make sure that before you start doing those things, you're safe, right? You can specifically recognize any deficits that you might have that need to be addressed first. So that's where someone like a rehab professional might come in handy. So depending on what phase of your journey you're on, as far as whether you're a seasoned exerciser or you're novice and you're just getting started, having a good look under the hood again, but from a more musculoskeletal perspective might be good.
I get tuned up once a week from Shannon. It's awesome. And she's made me feel so much better. And Doc, same thing. He takes care of me with the blood work. Make sure I'm doing good with everything. And Shannon, I go to her once a week, get my back tuned up, and I feel a lot better. It's improving, and it's all the crazy crap I used to do when I was younger. So, but yeah, these guys take care of me, man.
Yeah.
Now, have you seen people come to you year after year after year where you do kind of a similar assessment and you see changes, these noticeable, I guess you could say chronic changes in them, these noticeable changes over time where the areas that you're trying to really work on with them have been improving over a year, multiple year period?
I would say it depends on whether people stick to their plan or not,
that's
right?
True. That'd be the hardest part.
As we all know, sometimes we get on this plan because we have an injury or something's hurting or not feeling well, and then we get going down that path of taking care of that. And once it's feeling better, we kind of either stick with the plan and continue feeling good, or we revert back to the old plan and not doing the things because we're feeling better, and then sometimes we'll see those things creep back up again, or something different, right? Like runners are a perfect example, right? It might be glute muscle weakness that's the primary problem, but it could manifest as hip pain, Achilles tendonitis, patellar tendonitis. It may manifest in different areas, but it links back to the same cause. I would say, and I do actually treat a lot more maintenance type clients now than I used to. In a traditional PT setting, you see someone for the course of their injury. Once their injury's done, you don't see them anymore, right? They're off on their own. But I will say, in this setting, we do a better job, I think, of having longer term follow-up. So maybe you're done with the course of your injury rehab, but people will continue to come back maybe once or twice a month and get some hands-on therapy, like a lot of people do with massage. But we can do that even with physical therapy treatments as well, and using some of our other modalities, so the needling, the cupping. I do a lot of the lymphatic treatment as part of our maintenance plans because that just seems to help recovery and feeling well overall.
Now, is some of that a comparison of the insurance model, where they're only getting treated for the course of the injury, and then what you're doing now, as I think you're almost mostly out of pocket, is they're able to, because it's out of pocket, they're kind of able to dictate their schedule and their maintenance, and they're making the decisions on that. Does that have anything to play?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I can't speak to every single insurance case because they're all different, right? Depending on what your plan covers. I do know from when I worked in that setting and from when I see people now who are coming from that setting, a lot of times you're limited to, say, your one body part, right? So if you're in for Achilles tendonitis, that is the only thing we're allowed to treat, right? Now, if I go and assess somebody and I'm like, well, you have Achilles tendonitis because you're weak in your core, in your glutes, and you have a faulting running or walking gait, I can treat all those things, right? Whereas in some models, we're limited in what we can treat based on the anatomy and what's covered on your insurance.
So I guess in this sense, because none of us really take insurance anymore, so we are actually able to better personalize the care because
for sure. Yeah.
So we don't have another kind of hand in the pot telling us you need to do it this way or we will not reimburse you for the care that you're giving.
Yeah. Yeah, and we keep all our prices pretty reasonable. So that's what we try to do. Our mission is to help people. So obviously you got to get paid. No question. You got to run a business, but our mission is to help people. Is number one. So, yeah.
All right, everybody. So if you like the video, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel. We're going to have more and more content coming out. We have a wonderful social media manager who is helping to edit our videos, so definitely give her a shout out. If you have any comments for us, leave the comments down below. We will make sure to monitor those and make more content that is specific for what you'd like us to do. So check us out on some other channels. We're trying to get on Facebook. We're on Instagram already, Rumble, and even TikTok. So we will see you on the next one.
Yep.